Frame processing. The MAC address is a burn-in address, PIA, because it is burned into RAM on the NIC. This means that it cannot be changed by software. MAC addresses are assigned to any device that must originate and/or receive data on the network. When a device is forwarding a message to an Ethernet network, it attaches a header information to the packet. It contains the source and destination MAC address. Each NIC views information to see if the destination MAC address in the frame matches the device's physical MAC address stored in RAM. If there is no match, the device discards the frame. If it matches, the NIC passes the frame up the oscillators, where the decapsulation process takes place. Ethernet encapsulation. Early versions of Ethernet were relatively slow at 10 MB per second. Now they operate at 10 GB per second or even faster. Ethernet frame structure adds headers and throttlers around the layer 3 PDU to encapsulate the message being sent. Ethernet frame size. Ethernet 2 and IEEE 802.3 standards define the minimum frame size as 64 bytes and the maximum as 1518 bytes. A frame with less than 64 bytes in length is considered a collision fragment or wrong frame. If the size of a transmitted frame is less than the minimum or greater than the maximum, the receiving device drops the frame. At the physical layer, different versions of Ethernet vary in the method for detecting and placing data on the media. Ethernet frame. The primary fields in the Ethernet frames are preamble and start frame delimiter fields. This is used for synchronization between the sending and receiving devices. Length type field defines the exact length of the frame data field, also describes which protocol is implemented. Data and path field contains the encapsulated data from a higher layer, an IPv4 packet. Frame check sequence field used to detect errors in a frame with cyclic redundancy check. 4 bytes. If calculation match at source and receiver means that no error occurred. MAC addresses and hexadecimal. MAC addresses use hexadecimal numbering. It provides a convenient way to represent binary values. It is a basic SIM system that uses numbers from 0 to 9 and the letters from A to F. The technical representation of hexadecimal is preceded by 0x. For example, the number 0xA3 in hexadecimal base is equal to 10, 10 for the A and 0011 for the 3 in binary base representation, and it is equal to 163 in decimal representation. MAC address representation. The ipconfig-o command can be used to identify the MAC address. For example, here. Unicast MAC address. A unicast MAC address is the unique address used when a frame is sent from a single transmitting device to a single destination device. Broadcast MAC address. A broadcast packet contains a destination IP address that has all ones in the host version. This numbering in the address means that all hosts on a local network broadcast domain will receive and process the packet. Multicast MAC address. A multicast address allows a source device to send a packet to a group of devices, but those devices that belong to a multicast group are assigned a multicast group IP address. MAC address. This address doesn't change. It is similar to the name of a person. It is known as a physical address because it is physically assigned to the host NIC. IP address. It is similar to the address of a person. It is based on where the host is actually located. It is assigned to each host by a network administrator based on its local network. Both the physical MAC and logical IP addresses are required for a computer to communicate, just like both the name and address of a person are required to send a letter. End-to-end connectivity. A source device will send a packet based on an IP address. One of the most common ways a source device determines the IP address of a destination device is through a domain name service (DNS), in which an IP address is associated to a domain name. IP addressing determines the end-to-end behavior of an IP packet. IP packet is encapsulated in a frame specific to the particular data link technology associated with that link.
Created using Powtoon.